The other day, on Election Day, November 5th, I did publish my translation of the Bhagavad Gita. I am going to continue to edit it. Partly what I'm doing with these videos is continuing to look at the verses a little bit even more carefully and decide what is maybe the best translation that I can come up with. I don't think anyone has a monopoly on translations. I think every translation is by necessity somewhat imperfect. I think something is always lost in translation. People have tried many different ways to translate things. I don't think anyone can say that their translation is the best, even though I might use that language. We might say that this translation is a little bit more informed than that translation. We might say that a little bit more thought went into it, or a little bit more expertise, or a little bit more learning is behind it. Maybe a little bit more comprehending the greater context of the text and the greater context of the other texts that are in the tradition, like in the Hindu tradition, in the Sanatana Dharma tradition. So even though I might sound as if I'm being overly critical in some places, the reality of if anything, I've done about 10 or 11 of these videos so far, where I've looked at like 18 different translations of a single verse. That's what we're going to do today. The reality is most of the translations are good. They're really, more or less they have what it says. Now, some of them I think are better than others, and I will express that. I'm not afraid to say that. I think, though, for the most part, most of these translators are pretty much there. So today we're going to do chapter 9, verse 22 in the Bhagavad Gita. This is a very important verse in the sense that this is where Krishna says something to the effect that if you are my true devotee, I will take care of you. That's what it seems to say. But let's see what it says. And we're going to note how different some of these translations are, even though they're all kind of getting at the same thing, but they're, So here we go. Here's the Sanskrit. Ananyāśh chintayanto mam ye janā paryupāsate teṣhāṁ nitya-abhiyuktānām yoga-kṣhemam vahāmyaham. Maybe do that one more time. Ananyāśh chintayanto mam ye janā paryupāsate teṣhāṁ nitya-abhiyuktānām yoga-kṣemam vahāmyaham. Some tongue twisters there. All right. For those persons, janā, who worship me alone, mam ye paryupāsate, mam is me, ye who, paryupāsate, worship, thinking of nothing else, ananyā, chintayanta, for those ever united, teṣhāṁ nitya-abhiyuktānā. It's an interesting word that is not used much. Abhiyuktānā. I secure what they lack. Vahāmi aham. It's also an interesting verb. And preserve what they already possess. Yoga-kṣhema. This is all really interesting. Yoga-kṣhema is very interesting turn of phrase. So I think what we really need to talk about, what is the real difficulty here? I would say the main words. What does paryupāsate mean? I have worship me alone. Is that the best translation? I don't know. Maybe not. What does abhiyuktānā mean? I have those who are united, ever united, nitya-abhiyuktānā. That might not be the best translation. And then, what is vahāmyaham and what is yoga-kṣhema? And I think that's it. That's all she wrote with this one. Of course, we're going to see lots of variation, but let's go on. So mine in English, just simple English, for those persons who worship me alone, thinking of nothing else. For those ever united, I secure what they lack and preserve what they already possess. Meaning, I will take care of my, the basic meaning is I will take care of those who are truly one-pointed in their devotion. All right, Winthrop Sargent, whose translation I mainly used in creating my own, said, those men who worship directing their thoughts to me, whose minds do not go elsewhere. For them who are constantly steadfast, I secure what they lack and preserve what they already possess. So, the last part is the same as what I have. He has those men, I have those persons. Janā could be translated both ways. Created beings, right? For those persons or creatures who worship directing their thoughts to me, whose minds do not go elsewhere. Now, the directing their thoughts to me seems to be kind of additional here of what he, it's not, but it is. For them who are constantly steadfast, nitya-abhiyuktānā, for those men who worship, for those who worship me. Now, I might be incorrect in saying me alone. Maybe that's not, the alone is not, it's not really there either. So maybe I want to take that out. So let's keep Winthrop Sargent's in mind. We're going to go on. So Ramana Maharshi had 42 verses that he thought were essential, and this is one of them. So his translation is, in respect of those devotees who worship me and think of me single-mindedly, for those persons who are constantly united with me, that's basically what I had, I personally fulfill their personal needs and welfare. I personally fulfill their personal needs and welfare. Well, the personal is not there, That's a little paraphrase, that's a paraphrase. Now, how do we know that vahāmyaham yoga-kṣhema is what Winthrop Sargent and myself say it is, right? We don't know. I don't know how Winthrop Sargent knows, but let's see what other people say. But I can say almost for certain that Ramana Maharshi's is a bit of a taking a little bit of license with this and paraphrasing. The first part of what he said was pretty much spot on, but the second part is more of a paraphrase. All right. Prabhavananda, Swami Prabhavananda, and Christopher Isherwood. But if a man will worship me and meditate on me with an undistracted mind, devoting every moment to me, that's not there. I shall supply all his needs and protect his possessions from loss. Vahāmyaham, does that say I shall supply all his needs and protect his possessions from loss? How do we know what vahāmyaham means? Let's see if we can find it real quick. Let's do a very quick search. Vahāmyaham. I also am using Google Translate now, and we'll see what Google Translate has at the end. That's my kind of surprise at the end. So stay with us. Let's see Sanskrit meaning might refer to this verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Not finding it very easily here. So let's go on. Okay. Let's not waste time. I don't want to waste your time. Going on. So we had Ramana Maharshi, we had Prabhavananda. I shall supply all his needs and protect his possessions from loss. It's pretty much the same translation. Seems still to be, all of these are kind of maybe paraphrase, maybe not a completely direct translation. And I think Prabhavananda and Ishwar would definitely, like, devoting every moment to me is not there. That's an addition. That's a added thing that they added in there, imported in. Swami Shivananda, to those men who worship me alone, thinking of no other, of those ever united, pretty much what I had, I secure what is not already possessed and preserve what they already possess. So it's, again, this is like Sargent, this is like mine. All right, Radha Krishnan. But those who worship me, meditating on me alone, to them who ever persevere, I bring attainment of what they have not and security in what they have. It's good. It's just a little bit harder to understand. It's pretty much the same meaning. And then to them who ever persevere, that might not be the best, most exact translation. But Radha Krishnan is good. So, he probably knew something as well. Was he using Shivananda? Who was Shivananda using? Where did Shivananda, that would be a question I would ask, is what was Shivananda drawing upon? What was Radha Krishna drawing upon? Gandhi. As for those who worship me, by the way, Gandhi does have a translation at the end of his, he has a book about his reading of the Bhagavad Gita, and at the end he has his translation. As for those who worship me, thinking on me alone and nothing else, ever attached to me. So he has attached. Again, might not be the best for that. Abhiyuktānā. I bear the burden of getting them what they need. Again, it might be a paraphrase. Everyone is struggling with this, right? I think that's the thing, is that everyone is kind of best college guess that they have on what this means. Srila Prabhupada, but those who worship me with devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, that's not there, right? It's not, the transcendental form is his addition there. Even the meditating is not there. It does not have the term, well, unless you understand chintayanta, maybe that is meditating. Yeah, maybe it says, ananyā, thinking of no other, or maybe meditating on nothing else. Although Srila Prabhupada has meditating on my transcendental form, and that does not say that. I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. So the latter half of what he's saying is similar to what I and Sarjan and Shivananda, is similar. So he has what we have. Just a transcendental form that I would kind of object to there, because it's not actually there. Jeffrey Armstrong, on the other hand, now I don't know where on the other hand comes from, although he's trying to even the verse before it, I don't think that it calls for an other hand. We'd have to read the verse previous. But when yoga practitioners constantly adore me and their thoughts are focused upon me in a state of perpetual awareness, then I take a personal interest in their life and needs. Now, this is also a paraphrase and adding some stuff. It's kind of like, what he says he doesn't have purports, but his translation kind of is essentially a commentary as well. And that's not bad. It's not bad because he's very good in that regard. He keeps it pretty simple. But if you're looking for more of a direct, exact translation, that would not be it. I don't think this time I had Eknathaswaram, but we should look at his as well. Let me see if I can find it real quick, Eknathaswaram, because he would definitely be someone we want to keep looking at. And I think I'm just remembering that I don't think I have his this time, but it's okay. It's okay. Maybe I'll look for it and I'll add it to the description. All right, Sri Purohit Swami. But if a man will meditate on me alone and will worship me always and everywhere, doesn't have always and everywhere there. I will take upon myself the fulfillment of his aspiration, and I will safeguard whatsoever he shall attain. The safeguard whatsoever he shall attain is pretty much in keeping with Shivananda and Sargent and myself and some others, most others here. But I will take upon myself the fulfillment of his aspiration. Is that what it's saying? I don't know. I'm vahāmyaham. I would love for someone to very clearly say, what does that mean? Vahāmyaham. And I'm not sure if anyone has that here. The Sanskrit is very simple. It's two words, and the aham is just I, right? Aham, or I am. Jayadayal Goyanka, the devotees, however, who lovingly, now for example, he has, like when Jeffrey Armstrong had the yogis for janā, that's not yogis, that's beings or creatures or humans or men. Jayadayal Goyanka has devotees. The devotees, however, who loving no one else, constantly think of me and worship me in a disinterested spirit. Doesn't say that. To those ever united in thought with me, I bring full security and personally attend to their needs. Okay, the second part is pretty much what everyone else has. I think everyone's getting the basic meaning. It's just, there's a little bit of discrepancy, in certain words. And, I think also you have to take this all as a whole. You have to see the big picture as well. Is like, is it understandable? Is it, I think there's something about faithfulness to what it says. I don't think you can get around that. If you consider this to be sacred scripture, then you want to, I would think, say what it says and not, kind of your interpretation of what it says, or what you think people will understand that it says, that it'll be more understandable to people. There's something to that. But I think, again, it's sacred scripture. If you consider it to be sacred scripture, then you would want to treat it that way and translate it that way. Swami Mukundananda, there are those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me. To them, whose minds are always absorbed in me, I provide what they lack and preserve what they already possess. Okay, that's exactly Sargent, myself, Shivananda, couple others had that exact phrasing. I think Swami Mukundananda might have been using Shivananda. All right. I mean, he's pretty much got it. I mean, at least I don't know what he's got. he's got the consensus, right? Paramakaruna Devi, those who are interested only in me and my worship are always favorably / constructively engaged. I personally carry what they need. She also has the personally, right? Like Ramana Maharshi had the personally. Does it say personally though? Maybe because it says aham, right? And maybe that's where they're getting the personally there. I, Krishna, personally do this. So that could be okay, you know. But she's carry what they need seems to be maybe a paraphrase, unless she has an explanation for why she translated it that way. And where does she get the favorably / constructively engaged? That is different, you know. That is something new. No one has that. Seems to be something that she's adding. I'm sure she has a reason for it, but maybe not there exactly. B.G. Narasingha, but for those who are always absorbed in thoughts of me, who worship me, and who are always associated with me, I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. So again, Shivananda. Sargent, myself, Mukundananda, most everyone has this. You know, a lot of people are not translating janā right here. They're not translating as men or people. Let's see if you just put in janā real quickly, what will come up as some of the major ways to translate that word. So janā, Sanskrit, man, people, man as an individual, person, right? Individual, man or person, janā. Next one, Swami Tadatmananda, but those, again, he's not translating janā, who think only of me, those who worship me, unto them, the ever devoted, I grant welfare and protection. Okay, it's different. It's basically the same thing. Not exact translation, I don't think. I think unless everyone else is paraphrasing, but this seems to be a paraphrase. Not bad. It's also very simple, very direct. It has the basic meaning. BhagavadGita.org. Those who desire my eternal association, precluding all else, meditate on me with exclusive devotion. The desire my eternal association does not seem to be there. Those persons, so he has janā for those persons. He has for janā. I ensure the uniting of their individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness perpetually. Now this is different. This is not saying anything about I take care of my devotees. This is more I ensure. This is a taking care of on a greater scale. Like this is like I ensure that they will reach the goal. Right. I ensure that they have. I ensure that they get there. Right. It has nothing to do with material needs or anything like that. Whereas the others, man, I guess I forgot a few today. Let's do a few more. Let's do I think I got 18. Let's do Google Translate. Those who worship me thinking of no other, I bear the safety of yoga for those who are ever engaged in it. So he has for yoga-kṣhema the safety of yoga. I mean, this is Google Translate. This is not a person. This is a program. But the safety of yoga. This is interesting, right? So this is Google Translate translates this as safety of yoga, yoga-kṣhema. Just interesting, because no one translated it as yoga, right? No one translated that as yoga in all of these. How many did we have? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We almost had 18. Let's do one more. Let's see if we can find Iknat real quickly here. Feel free to go forward if you want. I think everyone, again, pretty much had the basic thing there. Do we have? Yeah. Here's Edwin Arnold. So we'll at least do him. 922. Edwin Arnold. Edwin Arnold had his translation. 1888 came out. Believe he was a British guy, and this is a very poetic translation. It's a very nice in some ways translation. It's called the Song Celestial. But to those blessed ones who worship me, turning not otherwhere, with mind set fast, I bring assurance of full bliss beyond. So that is actually similar to what we saw from bhagavad-gita.org, right? It's nothing about taking care of your material needs or the devotee's material needs. It's actually more about ensuring that they reach the goal, which is interesting, and it's that is a difference for sure. Can't deny that is a different meaning than most other people had. I'm not finding Iknat, unfortunately. I wish I could find it very quickly here, but we did 18 today. And I'm just not finding that. I did have Gandhi's today, which is good. Let's go back to Gandhi for a moment. Gandhi had, as for those who worship me, thinking on me alone and nothing else ever attached to me, I bear the burden of getting them what they need. I bear the burden. Let's read the Sanskrit one more time. Ananyāśh chintayanto mam ye janā paryupāsate teṣhāṁ nitya-abhiyuktānām yoga-kṣhemam vahāmyaham. You can see why I'm doing this one, though, I hope. Vahāmi is like I lead, I carry, I bring. So it really just means like I bring, right? Vahāmyaham, I bring. So why wouldn't you just translate this as yoga-kṣhema I bring? I bring. So that's why, in a way, those last two translations, Edwin Arnold and bhagavad-gita.org, maybe they're closer to the truth of what this is actually saying, right? I bring them to, because kṣemam is protect spiritual assets. I lead them to the acquisition of yoga. Why not? I bring them to the acquisition of yoga. Maybe that's what it's saying. We'll have to look into this more. I think this raises more questions than it answered today. As I think any good analysis video would. It will make you question, right? Because there's a consensus here, but is the consensus right? Especially if everyone's copying everyone else. If everyone is just like, oh, that's what they said. All right, so I'm going to put that because that's what they said. But who's to say that's right? You can see that it's almost the exact same language with a lot of these, which means that people are copying each other. And that's where you would want to get away from copying other translators, right? You wouldn't want to say the exact same thing as what everyone else is saying, because they could be wrong. How do they know? Let's go back to Srila Prabhupada for a moment. Let's see what he said again. He said, "Those who worship me with devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have." Now that's very similar to Shivananda, Sargent, myself, Mukundananda. Maybe he was using Shivananda. Maybe he was using some of these previous translations. Who knows? Anyway, I hope this was helpful today. I hope you got some good value out of this. Please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments, feedback, thoughts, suggestions. If you have a verse in the Gita you'd like me to do, let me know. And see you very soon. And I'll put all of these in the description so you can check them out on your own. Thank you. Hari Om Tat Sat.